Before the diamond chains, chart-topping hits, and billion-dollar deals, there was Boo Boo from Southside Jamaica, Queens, a kid born into chaos, a product of poverty, pain, and pure ambition, raised by a hustling mother who was murdered before he hit double digits, thrown into the streets where survival was the only rule and loyalty could cost your life. He hustled, he fought, he got shot 9 times and came back harder than ever, blackballed by the industry, hunted in the streets. But still, he rose, not just as a rapper but as a force, ruthless in business, ferocious in beef, calculated in every move. This is the story of Curtis Jackson, the war-scarred hustler who turned pain into power, the man who became 50 Cent. And this is Street Legendz. Born Curtis James Jackson III on July 6, 1975, 50 Cent grew up in the gritty South Jamaica neighborhood of Queens, New York. His mother, Sabrina, was a drug dealer who raised him until her mysterious death in a fire when he was just 8 years old. After her passing, Curtis was raised by his grandmother, but the streets raised him just as much. By age 12, he was already deep into the drug game during the height of the crack epidemic. Southside Queens wasn't just a neighborhood, it was a battleground, and 50 was molded by its violence, betrayal, and survival instincts. Being the youngest kid hustling on the street corner with the older guys while holding his own, he was given the nickname Boo Boo. By age 15, 50 was already knee-deep in the streets. While in juvenile detention center, he hit the weights and bulked up muscle. He was much bigger than a lot of kids his age during that time. 50 also took boxing lessons during his youth, making him more of a threat in the streets. He became so good with his hands to the point he was beating up grown men, earning him more respect and quickly building up a reputation as a good fighter. 50 was ready for whatever. He never backed down to anyone. During his journey in the streets, he met and became good friends with a Haitian kid in his neighborhood, Marvin Bernard, better known as Tony Yayo, who was also drawn into the street life early. Their bond was built on survival and ambition. They weren't just friends, they were like family. While 50 Cent was making moves in the streets and later transitioning into music, Yayo was right there with him, providing loyalty and muscle. As 50 began to build his rap career, Tony Yayo supported him behind the scenes, often helping him navigate both street and industry politics. 50 always had a passion for music, being inspired by guys like Nas, Tupac, Biggie, and more. He decided that he wanted to tell his story as well. So he started writing raps about his life and starting recording demos for his friends. But he realized he needed a good stage name to go with his persona and style. So he took the name of another street legend who passed away by the name of 50 Cent. The real 50 Cent was from Brooklyn, New York. He was a notorious street figure who was known for robbing drug dealers and whoever he wanted to. His name rung out around the city and he was feared by many. And just like Curtis, he feared nothing. So Curtis, better known as Boo Boo, decided that since he had similarities to the real 50 Cent, he would just use his name. 50 started making a name for himself, putting out mixtapes around the neighborhood, which quickly spread across New York. The buzz grew so much, it caught the attention of legendary DJ Jam Master Jay from the group Run DMC. Jay liked 50 from the moment he met him and wanted to give 50 a chance. So he signed him to his label, JMJ Records. Jam Master Jay at the time had a group called Onyx, who he had also signed and helped reach success in the industry. So he thought it was a good idea to introduce 50 to the world by putting him on the group Onyx record called React, and also put him in the video to gain exposure. The song and video was just a stepping stone for 50 as he would become hip-hop's next superstar. 50 Cent continued to grow as an artist, but he became more controversial as well. Having that fearless mindset like he had in the streets, he also brought it to the music industry, taking shots at rappers on a song called How to Rob. He received a lot of backlash from artists who he named in the song, but he didn't care. The biggest response he received was from Jay-Z, who dissed him back at New York's Summer Jam concert live on stage. 50 Cent knew that he would soon be on top, and no one would be able to stop him. He continued to speak his mind without having any fear of backlash, but it was one record that almost cost him his life. Ghetto Quran. 50 took shots at a few street figures. One in particular was Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Supreme was a well-respected and feared kingpin in New York. He and his gang Supreme team was real heavy in the streets, and they did not like what 50 said about them. 50 knew it would be problems behind this diss, but he didn't care, because 50 doesn't back down from anyone or anything. On May 24th, 2000, 50 Cent was sitting in a car outside his grandmother's house when a gunman walked up and unloaded 9 shots into him at close range. He was hit in the hand, arm, hip, legs, chest, and famously in the face, leaving his voice permanently altered. The shooting was believed to be connected to his beef with Supreme's crew. Many counted him out, thinking he wouldn't survive or rap again. But 50 healed, trained, and came back even more dangerous. The shooting gave him the street cred that couldn't be bought. It made him a legend in the hood before the mainstream ever knew his name. After recovering, 50 Cent was blackballed in the industry. Labels were scared to touch him. But he took matters into his own hands, recording mixtapes and unleashing a new wave of aggressive street anthems that caught fire in New York. His mixtape 50 Cent is the Future caught the attention of Eminem and Dr. Dre, who signed him to Shady Aftermath. In 2003, he released Get Rich or Die Tryin', a raw, unapologetic debut that sold 872,000 copies in its first week. Tracks like Many Men, What Up Gangsta, and In the Club showcased his pain, paranoia, and power. He wasn't just rapping, he was documenting survival. 50's rise wasn't just about talent, it was about war. He waged lyrical warfare against Ja Rule and Murder Inc., dismantling their credibility and mocking them at every turn. He took shots at Fat Joe, Jadakiss, Nas, The Game, and even mentors like Dr. Dre when loyalty was questioned. He built a brand off confrontation, proving he wasn't scared of anyone. G-Unit became a movement, launching artists like Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and Young Buck, and flooding the streets with mixtapes, albums, and apparel. 50 wasn't just a rapper. He was a machine, a mogul, and a master of strategy. When 50 Cent stepped into television, he didn't just play the game, he rewrote it. In 2014, he executive produced and co-created Power, a gritty crime drama on Stars that reflected the same themes that built his music: street loyalty, betrayal, money, power, and survival. The story followed James Ghost St. Patrick, a drug kingpin trying to leave the game and go legit, something that mirrored 50's own transition from the streets to corporate success. Not only did 50 Cent narrate and produce the series, he also played a major role on screen as Kanan Stark, a ruthless mentor-turned-enemy who quickly became one of the show's most iconic and feared characters. Kanan was brutal, calculated, and unpredictable, a role that felt tailor-made for 50's image and experience. Power was more than just a hit. It became a cultural phenomenon. It revitalized the Star's network, brought in millions of viewers, and birthed an entire TV universe. 50 expanded it into multiple spin-offs, including Power Book 2, Ghost, following Ghost's son, Tariq. Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, a prequel loosely based on 50 Cent's younger years. Power Book 4, Force, focused on fan favorite Tommy Egan. And Power Book 5, Influence, in development, centered around politics. This move positioned 50 Cent as not just a rapper or businessman, but a major force in Hollywood. He showed the world that he could tell powerful stories from both sides of the camera. From mixtapes to movie sets, 50 didn't just rise, he built an empire. Power proved he wasn't just part of the culture, he was shaping it. 50 Cent's journey from a crack-dealing kid in Queens to a global rap mogul is one of the greatest transformations in hip-hop. He faced the streets, industry blackballing, near death and betrayal, and turned all of it into fuel. His story represents resilience, revenge, and raw ambition. Whether you love him or hate him, one thing is undeniable. 50 Cent earned his spot as a street legend not just through music, but through a life that reads like a war novel. His legacy was written in blood, bars, and billion-dollar moves. This has been another episode of Street Legendz. If you like this episode, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Drop in the comments which Street Legendz story you want to hear next.